Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Danny's Life and Travel. And today we're going to be talking about AMD again. Just a quick update on what's been going on, and then what's been going on generally in the market, with other stocks as well. So, as you can see with AMD stock, I've just got this chart open right here, and this is for the last week. So, we had a good week last week. So, this was Monday. Monday it goes up, and then Tuesday it pops up as well, and then from Wednesday we have volatility. So the volatility starts on Wednesday. So we have a huge drop, so it goes up, and then I have a huge drop down, and then it ends the day higher, but then that volatility continues. And I think this is because people think at this point, the stock has gotten a little ahead of itself. And I can understand the feeling, that people are not sure that how far higher it will go based on that. But it's okay for now because I understand it. It's based on everything that's happened so far, and what is needed to stabilize this price and to make it go higher, really, in a big way, is news. So you need real information, facts, but that is gonna come. So we have volatility. Yeah, I'll just finish up with this and I'll show you the calendar with the news coming up. So we got volatility on Wednesday, but it still ends up higher. And then Thursday we have volatility again, right? Actually, this was Thursday. That's Wednesday there. That's Thursday there. So volatility there, that was 2 or 3% down, and then it ends up on the day up. But then you can see after hours, here you have volatility and here you have volatility. And then on Friday it's been a down day. On Friday is normally profit taking anyway, but last Friday it was strong. It was an update, right? Although we had down days during the week, but Friday was an update. And again, this goes back to the information side. So right now I think this stock needs some information. So just show you some information here. So next week, we have GDC starting. So from Monday it's GDC, right? So we got the 27th and the 28th. 28th is an important day because not only is there a presentation at GDC, yeah. So Monday we have the tutorial and programming side of it, where they're gonna have programmers from AMD talking about how people are using the new CPU, the Ryzen CPU, and that CPU has already been launched. There was a small video of Lisa Su, the CEO of AMD, launching that and saying, you can now from the 22nd. So that was on Wednesday. You could do pre-order, so you can pre-order the product, but it's going to go on shelves on the 2nd of March. So the important thing about the 28th was that there is a non-disclosure agreement that's in place with all the guys who do these reviews on CPUs. They have an NDA in place, so they can't talk about it. So that ends on the 28th, and that's when all the positive news will come out, I think. So that will come from the reviewers, and then coupled with the information from the programmers and so on. Yeah, and then we've got the Ryzen launch itself, and again there will be numerous presentations coming out showing how they use the CPU and the new ways they have of optimizing the CPU to get the best out of it. And again, all of this next week will be all information confirming the performance of the CPU, and and because the performance will be confirmed, I think then people can think about how that translates into sales. Another thing on sales is that I did see a I don't know where it was. There was a on one of the websites. I think it was Amazon. Yeah, on Amazon it said, this is the American Amazon. It said out of stock. So that means that they've sold out. And there was another I don't know who it was, another poster somewhere who said that AMD has shipped 1 million CPUs already for to fill those orders. So if they've already shipped a million CPUs and still Amazon is out of stock, then that tells you how much demand there is. So there's got to be a lot of demand. On top of that, if you have the results for next week, then that should that should again confirm it that look, this CPU is selling good, and that means increased in revenue, increases in revenue in the coming quarters, and again the stock will benefit and start going up again in a big way. Now there is the thinking that if you compare this CPU launch to previous CPU launches, that the stock is ahead of itself, because the one I saw in 2000, where it was going to make a big significant difference. It was $8 to start, and then after the CPU launch, over the next 10 months it went up to $40. So there is the argument that could be made that it's gotten ahead of itself a little bit there. But the key thing there is that you have to put it into context. So back then it was just a CPU. Now we have data centers, where they're supplying for data centers, right? Now we have the GPU side of it as well. So that's going to be this year as well. Yeah, and then they have the mobile APU, I think that's coming towards the end. So this year there's going to be, four products that are coming out, 4 product lines, let's say, right? It's not just one. Back then it was just one CPU, and we got to 40, right? This year it's going to be 4 product lines. So I think at this price point it is well justified, and it may even be a little lower. It may be a little undervalued at this price, based on the 4 product lines, right? So you could make the argument that servers, the data center server side is going to be the most profitable, right? And they didn't have that in 2000, right? So in 2000, if they could go from 8 to 40, right, based on just a CPU, that now if you add a really profitable server side to that, then it makes good sense that it's at 14. Yeah, it should be at 15 actually, a little bit higher, right? And then on top of that, you have the other 2, which is the GPU side. Again, used for, I think Nvidia uses it for the self-driving side of it as well. So that has huge potential for the future as well. So if you put that into the mix, then at this point you're looking, this is if the stock is projecting 2 or 3 months ahead. And I think it can do that, because if you look at Tesla, for example, which is, I know it's a cult stock and it's not right to compare it really, but if that thing can project years in advance, so they're priced for 500,000 cars in production, right? That's why the stock is priced at. If they can do that, why can't AMD, project a few months, into the future? Why can't the stock do that? And I think if it did it, if it is doing that, then it's still undervalued, because if you add just those 3 elements, so you got the server side, you got the GPU and the CPU, then you're looking at easy $17-18, right, a share. And then on top of that, at this point, that's where it should be. That's what I'm saying. In the future, it should go up, but here at this point is where it should be. And then you got the mobile, the APU, so the last part of it, which should add to it, so about 8-19. So it should be higher than this. So that argument that it's maybe ahead of itself on that side, right? Yeah, I think it's not justified based on everything that we have coming and everything that's going on. But still, I understand the feeling though, that people have, because so far, yes, they've had some information on the last week on Wednesday when Ryzen was launched, and you could pre-order it, and that was great information, and it drove the stock higher, right? But still, I think people want more. I think it will continue. Maybe volatility will continue until the earnings, and then at the earnings, then we'll really see what people's feeling is towards this. So I understand it. So moving on to Nvidia. So basically, we've had a good week overall in AMD, and I see next week AMD going up higher based on all that information, on from GDC and the Ryzen launch itself. So I expect it to go higher. But in the end, I said in the previous videos that I think it'll go to 20 at the very least. I think it'll hit 20. And then other people have said 30 and 40. And it's possible. I mean, it's not only possible, it could go higher than that. Like I said, previously it went to $43 based on just a CPU. So why can't it go above 40 based on these 4 products? It makes good sense. Okay, now moving on to Nvidia. Like I said, Nvidia has had, if I just open up this chart, see if I can do it. Yeah, Nvidia has had a bad week, to be honest. But I understand it. I understand why. So if you look at this, is the 3-month chart. So it went all the way to 119, and now it's at 100, 101, right? I think it'll have a bit of a bounce back, a little higher, but then it'll go back down again. So this is the danger we have. When it overshoots, yeah, and there's nothing happening, then this is what will happen. And this, any person who who saw the stock and listened to the earnings calls, which I did, you could tell that this was coming, that this was going to happen at some point, because they don't have anything going on in the short to medium term. Now, yes, they say that they have the 1080 Ti that they're going to. It's a rumor as well, that they're going to present at GDC, and they're going to talk about it. But the key point is the company has to have something launching, or some information coming out that's impressive, and there's nothing like that. And even if they do show the 1080 Ti, right, that'll boost the stock up a little bit, okay. But then remember, you can't get a hold of that. They haven't launched it, and it's going to probably launch towards the end of the year, right? So you're looking past June, right? Definitely past June. So you got June, about September time. I would expect that to come out. So if it's coming out around that time, there's a big gap. There's a lot of time between September and now. So you got 7 months left. 7 months, something like that left. So there's a big gap, and this is what I mean. In the meantime, what people do is, especially day traders, they're thinking, damn it, I'm wasting my time. I'm not waiting 6 months. Even long investors are thinking that, not waiting 6 months to see movement in the stock, for it to go up. I would think like that. I always think like, if you're investing in a stock, you need to see a return. And if you're waiting 6 months just for it to move a little higher than where you bought it, then couldn't you have spent that 6 months in another stock which would have moved? So you make money off that and then come into this and stay into this. So these are the things, and it happened to me with AMD, and I think with Nvidia it happened before. So this was December time, and AMD chart is pretty similar. So we had a down trend all the way down to January 17th, right? AMD was the same. Now that time I could have spent in Tesla. Tesla was going up. It went up by 50%. And I regretted it. I kept thinking, damn it, if I had just gone into Tesla for that time period. I had someone else who was in Glencore, and they said to me, why don't you come over to Glencore? It's down. And it was down by a good 10-15%. I should have gone over to that. But these are the lessons that I learned, that, whilst, it's human psychology. You want to go with the winners. So if a stock is moving up and up and up, you want to go with that because it's going up and up and up. If a stock is going down, down, and down, then you want to stay away from that. That's human psychology. It's very, very simple. People love a winner. But the key thing is that when a stock has moved down 10-15%, then it has a higher percentage chance of going up than the stock that's been going up consistently, for a number of months. So because that stock has, the higher it goes, the less chance it has of going even higher. Yeah, the percentage chance decreases. So I should have gone, even if I went to Glencore, I would have been fine. And then when this stock has, when AMD had depreciated 10-15%, which it did, it went all the way down to I think about 20% depreciation. It went down from um, December to mid-January. That's when I should have gone in. That's when I should have said, okay, now this stock has a higher percentage chance of going up because it's come down 10-15%. So I should have done that. But these are the things, that's what I'm saying. Why would you wait 6 months in Nvidia when you have other opportunities, especially with AMD? You have a huge opportunity there. Next week, all of next week is active. It's completely active. And then historically, it tells you that the stock is undervalued at where it is. It should go to 20 at a minimum 20, right? If not higher. So you're guaranteed to make money, right? If you go into it over the next 6 months. If you're comparing 6 months to 6 months, then you should definitely make money over the next 6 months. And then after that, when it comes close to the time when Nvidia is about to release its 1080 Ti, then if you want to go back over to Nvidia, go ahead. But I did say to every single one of them, I was talking and I was saying on the conversation forum side, I said, you should sell it. I would sell it. I would sell Nvidia. Same with Tesla. Tesla's gone down because, again, I listened to the earnings, and the earnings happened. I think it was around here this time. But in the earnings, the CEO Elon Musk said, he said we would like. I think it was. I don't know what his exact wording was, but basically he was saying that it would be wise to raise capital. That means that there would be, they said if they don't raise capital, they'll be going to the edge. That means that they'll be using their money, all of the cash they have, and to be very close to running out of cash. They'll be going right to the edge. So it'd be wise to raise capital. And what does that mean? What does that mean, raising capital? It means they might sell shares, and if they sell more shares, then what happens? Yeah, the existing shares get diluted. And you can see it. So if we go over, I think this was last year. So you can clearly see from here, right? This part here where it was a May time, right? This part here, this is where I think Barron's said that it would, the stock would triple or something like that. Yeah. And then we had, that was Brexit. That was the Brexit vote in the UK. So I think Barron said at some point that it would basically triple, the stock would triple, right? So it goes up, you have an uptrend, and then goes down a little, then it starts to go down. And then I think around this point, I'm not 100% on the timeline here, but at some point here, Goldman Sachs, this is where they did another stock dilution with Tesla last year. And I was in it, I took the ride from 265 all the way down there. But don't worry, I bought it around 200. So I was still in profit, even around here. Right? So then Goldman Sachs said, it was on a Wednesday, I remember. They said, you should buy this stock, and it was on the news, on all the little news stories. And everyone started buying the stock, right? But by the end of the day, I don't know, it's somewhere around here, I think. But by the end of the day, so I remember the stock went up, and then by the end of the day, they said, so it's on a Wednesday morning they say buy. On Wednesday after the closing bell, they tell everyone, we're doing a stock dilution, guys, and we're going to be underwriting it. I think it was them and JP Morgan, right? So it's like pumping it and dumping it, yeah. And people would say, it looks pretty dodgy, pretty illegal, but I think if any normal person would have done that, it would have been pretty obvious for the SEC to step in and do an investigation. But in this case, they get away with it. But in the end, I thought this is crazy, and they did the shares. They sold the shares, and then after that, you can see, it just takes a dump down, and then it's messing around down here, and then we have the Brexit vote, and it goes straight to the floor, right? Yeah. But it did have a lot of other issues as well. There was an issue with I think it was the driver. There was a guy who drove the autonomous car in California, and he died, you know, because there was a lorry that, you know, the car went underneath it, and the top end came off, and his head came off or something with it. I can't remember exactly, but it was. I remember it was pain and pain and pain and pain, and there was one negative story after another, you know. And the National Highway, you know, Authority was, they were investigating it. So you went through a lot of crap that year, you know, last year. So, but still, you know, it's just, I'm just trying to say what happened with the stock dilution, and it was just a pump and dump. So, you know, people can see that, you know, and I said on the forums, you know, if he's going to dilute the shares, then the shares are going to be valued less, and so, and I don't see anything really happening, no significant big news until next year. So that's why I expect this to take a dump down, you know, I expect it to go down. And I would only buy it at its all-time low anyway, about 180, 179. You know, even if you buy it at 200, it's still okay, but anything below 200. But never at this point. I mean, it's just too high. And it's priced, remember, at $280. It is priced for 500,000 cars, you know, being produced on the production line every year. That's what it's priced for. And there's also the Solar City, you know, because they bought Solar City and they bought another company. So there's the risk of those companies as well. We don't know what's going to be happening with them. And Elon Musk said, you know, last year when it was at this point somewhere, he said, well, you know, this is when they were getting people to vote on whether they should buy the company, Solar City, which does solar panels. They were saying, he was saying that Solar City would, by the end of the year, by the early part, January, February part of the year, Solar City would be providing $500 million in cash. So it would be a net contributor. But now in the recent earnings call, I read the newsletter, and it said, it didn't say 2017, it said 2019 it'd be providing the 500 million. So what is that all about, you know? So, and he does have a thing about timekeeping, you know. Elon Musk is not good at timekeeping. But I support him 100%, even though, you know, I said to everyone, you know, I think he will make it eventually. It's just in the meantime, you know, you have this time frame. In the meantime, you have all this time where there isn't any positive news coming out, and it's again, you know, as investors and traders, you want to use your time efficiently so you get the most out of it and you make the most money out of it. And just waiting, you know, right now it's not going to work. So I think what I did was on a you know, this on a demo account, just to try out the theory. I you know, I leveraged it and I put in a short position. It's a demo, so it's not real money, so I'm not really affecting the company, because I mean, Tesla is the only company where I don't want to, even if I could short it, I don't want to short it, because this guy is trying to do something good for the world. So why bother to go against him? But anyway, this video has gone on for long enough. It's 23 minutes. But generally, my update was on AMD. Next week, I think it's going to go higher. Yeah. And I think we're looking at least minimum 20. Again, I said it in previous videos. And everything is looking good. You know, all the CPUs, I mean, that they launched are beating their competitors, and they are cheaper. You know, cheaper by a lot. I mean, the highest end CPU for Intel is $1,500, and the highest end CPU for AMD is $499. So it's a big difference. Anyway, guys, I hope it was helpful. So if you're in the stock, stick with it. If you're not in the stock, good time to buy. You know, Monday, because Tuesday everything's gonna come. You know, the NDAs are coming to an end, and everyone can start talking, and then all the news will start. So just have a think about that. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Signing out.